pretty much a recap of what happened at round 1 at Carnival City. So to start it off, we obviously had a very big trip, to go up, driving and stuff. It was 1,400 k's one way, and then obviously coming back again. It was 14 hours to get up, 15 and a half hours coming down, and yeah, everything went pretty smoothly. My dad and myself, we did the trip alone. We are not a massive crew, so from a driving and a mechanic sort of aspect, my dad and myself do all of our work ourselves. When it comes to reliability and stuff, we got the real deal Martin van Staden. He assists us with sort of some of the prep work beforehand, and we use the facility at G&A Motorsport. So everyone, again, it's that whole essence of everyone which we are using as our sponsors are actually really assisting us. So getting there quite late on Thursday night. We booked in and checked in and made sure everything was all sorted for the next day. Came Friday morning, we obviously set up. We realized we had 2 issues. Obviously, with the towing is quite a hectic drive. We had issues with the brake lights. One of the wires running towards the brake light switch must have had a short somewhere from a breakage, maybe the vibrations along the way. So on the last minute we had to check that. We also had a little bit of an issue with the cutout cable that we run. So we're running a main cutout switch on the inside of the car, and we're running a pull cable system on the outside. So instead of you running a lot of wiring and stuff for different main cutout switch cables, we make it obviously a lot more simpler and just run a pull type cable to obviously switch the car off in case of emergency, so the scrutiny or the marshal can pull it from the outside. So that's sort of broke and seized up, which was a bit of an annoying last thing to happen, because where do you find something like that now? It's a bit of a mission. So we got that all sorted. We did some practice runs and yeah, the car was feeling good. I was sort of just getting the hang of the track. So the track layout's quite, it's a very short run-up. So we assumed we would have to use 4th gear. We ended up using 3rd gear. So we ran a 205 4017, and normally at Killarney or bigger higher speed tracks we'll end up initiating with 4th gear, and it seems to give us a good wheel speed, and obviously gives us good smoke, and I get a very good feel out of the car. So I was kind of using that mindset from what we learned from Jacana Grid from a surface, but I was completely mistaken with the size. And yeah, the track was quite smooth and quite interesting, if I must say, but it's quite deceiving. You're entering, we're changing 1st, 2nd, 3rd, initiating by the cones. We initiated mostly by the two cone mark, and from there you're running straight to our outer wall. So it's quite hectic to sort of commit, if you want to call it that, because you sort of, especially in the beginning runs, you're sort of learning the correct line and what to take, and but the problem is you could almost risk it all if you get it wrong. So we were sort of progressing through the practice runs, and the last 2 practice runs I had on the Friday felt extremely good, and was my best 2 runs on the Friday. So we felt very confident for Saturday. Come Saturday, we had Vivian from SRC. He assisted us quite a bit as well, which was very nice. He was sort of up at mechanic, because normally it would just be my dad, myself, and my wife as well. She's normally my spotter. She also made the trip up to Johannesburg along with her mom and her sister, so that was very nice to have some family there. We were pretty much set. We got the car dialed in more for a qualifying setup. I wanted to make sure that we had the best chance of qualifying high. So I just made sure we kept dialing in the qualifying runs. I wasn't too phased about TAMs too much just yet. And I think we were pretty much set. Come qualifying, obviously driver's briefings in the middle, and come qualifying, the first run I had, we laid down a pretty decent line. You're obviously going to run the first outer wall, so we would try to be very aggressive for our style. I try to focus a lot on what the judges wanted. They wanted aggressive switches, and they wanted you to run a high line. They didn't want any shallow lines. Obviously, we're not running anything hectic on angle wise, because physically from a cost point of view, we're on a very tight budget. But what we do is we obviously we've done a bit of research, and we sort of made do with what we have. So our angle is pretty good. It's maybe not where I feel we should be in terms of like a wide-swept kit, or any sort of high angle kit, for example. And I think what that really does is that gives you sort of gives you more confidence. You can throw it in a bit hotter, and you'll be able to catch it. Where as my setup, you will be able to throw it in, you'll catch it, but it's 9 times out of 10 you'll catch it, but it's at one time where you won't catch it, which is what I don't really want to risk when we're at this sort of level where we are now. So but in any case, qualifying was quite good. The first run was pretty much my banker run. We were a bit shallow on the last inner bank, and I knew there was some room for improvement. The first half of the run, on the first run, I was very consistent, but the second run I was just trying to keep it smooth. But the second run I wasn't as consistent on the first half, if that makes sense. But the second half of the run was better than my first run, so I wish I had the first bit of the first run and the second bit of the second run, and it would have been an extremely high score.
No, we're not expecting rain. We're just standing out here a little in the open. But yeah, they were the only ones that were really campaigning rotaries. Oh, also goes in beautifully deep there. It could have been me. I think I'm spitting. My bad. Doing it for GNA Motorsport, Mike's place. Christopher Long here, showing a very, very good line. Things are looking nice and consistent. If you like it, don't put a ring on it. Make some noise for it, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to have them joining us up here in Johannesburg, where we have water.
Qualified 5th with a score of 86. The guy in 4th place scored 86.5, so there was only a 0.5 difference. And it felt strong. I felt pretty confident. And yeah, it pretty much set us up for the rest of the day. We then went straight into top 16. So in the top 16 we were paired up with Vic Pardell. Vic is a good driver. He's obviously known for spinning and commentaries and stuff, so I've got good respect for the guy. We were the high qualifier. I think Vic qualified 11th, we qualified 5th. So we were paired up to lead first, and as we sort of pulled away out of the box, because the lead guy always has to go through the chicane first, Vic just sort of past me. So I was a bit shocked. Realistically, I think Supadrift should have red flagged the run immediately, but the run carried on, and I didn't want to sort of seem like I wasn't in the chase. So I didn't really know what was going on. So we sort of just carried on, and I tandem with him. We got to the second part of the outer zone, going into the inner clip, and I don't know what he did, but he went in, and I don't know if he over angled, but it kind of caught me a bit off guard, so I had to straighten in that part, and I got back on it, initiated for the smaller inner clip, and he ran a bit offline, and as soon as he ran, I think it was about 2 wheels offline, he came back on, and it sort of caught me off guard again, because the line you have to take is quite a high line, and he sort of just half cut in front of me, so I had to straighten again, you know, which is not ideal. And then
Damn, those sparks that come off that handbrake as he yanks it.
It has to be the handbrake because we're not seeing it anywhere else. So it has to be the handbrake that's just really locking up into it. It's just spitting out pieces of brake pad. It's working for the Vic though.
High line is Chris.
Oh, Chris Long goes.
Proximity between these two. Oh no! Oh no!
What happened there?
That was. I've lost the words.
then obviously swapped around, so I would be in the left-hand lane, which is the chase lane, and he would then be in the lead lane, and when we went away he assumed I was going to lead, but the left-hand lane is the follow lane, and as we went away he was waiting for me and I was waiting for him, and it was sort of like a confusion between the two, and we ended up stopping, so they had to come and check what was going on, and you know, that's not ideal, you know.
Turtle wax.
And Achilles tires.
Right, so let's see. No, confusion again.
Pick one. Come on, guys, pick one.
Lane.
I think they then explained, you know, what happened to him, so he understood where he was, so he was obviously out of frustration. I could hear him spinning back and all that sort of stuff, but we then pulled away and hit a cone, so we had a red flag the run again. To the start line, and we ran the run. I left a little bit of a gap, obviously, you know, just to be safe, you know, I had a pretty much a 10-0 advantage obviously from the first run, so we went in, and then as we came to the big switch, I'm not too sure what he did, but he just, you know, flicked it in, and it sort of spun him around, so it caught me a little bit off guard. I squeezed through just on the outside, and managed to just get past him and carried on the run.
Here we go, we give it another bash. This time we get things sliding and going here. Vic Cordell out in front, Chris Long doing the chasing now. Small comedy of errors. But Vic settling into a bit of a groove. Oh! Rattled, rattled, rattled. As Chris Long is squeezed between Vic Cordell and the wall there. A lovely motel. Ladies make their way out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the judges say your winner is Christopher Long. Let's give a nice round of applause. Chris Long doing it there for Mike Place and G&A Motorsport.
And yeah, that was pretty much that for the top 16. We got the win for that. You know, it's not the way I want to win. I like to be door to door. You know, big aggressive style and smoke and angle, and you know, that's Vic's got that in him as well. It was just a comedy of errors, if you want to call it. I'm not too sure what happened, but anyway, I got due respect to the guys, so I look forward to more tandems in the future. We were then paired up with Zenil Satar in the top 8. So Zenil's got a S15. It's a very, very beautiful looking S15, and we sort of he was obviously a high qualifier, so we were to follow, and we pulled away, and as we pulled away, hit a cone, but that sort of gave me an idea, you know, and realized that, you know, this guy's fast. So went back to the start line, another restart, and when we pulled away, I did pretty well, I think, to judge him on the start, But as we pulled, second, third, he just pulled a car length and another half a car length, and I was quite, surprised. So we initiated. There was still a bit of a gap. He didn't run the wall as much as what I thought he was going to run. And the first bit, he was way offline. So the judges wanted us to be wide on the line, which is what I did. So I went wide and he was very far in. So I think that also cost him a little bit. He didn't run the wall as much as I did. We came to the switch and he just shot to the inside of the track as we came to the switch. So he was way offline to get to the outer zone. And I went for the outer zone. So there's still that 2-car gap the whole way around. And as we came back in, both got the front clips. We didn't knock any cones. We came back for the smaller section, and I probably pulled it back to about a car length plus minus.
In the Mike's place in GNA.
Okay, take 2.
In the right-hand side. All right, here we go. We go to the starters' orders. A little bit of a Kansai initiation there from Chris Long. Zanil Sitar just putting the power down.
Running a shallow line though. But does that shallow line now force Chris to go wide?
That's some impressive angle from Zanil there as well. Give it up, make some noise. Drift Devil, Honey Z. Chris Long.
The judges gave us I would think a 6-4 advantage to me. I mean, I'm not too sure, just from what I can tell. And then it was my turn to lead, so I knew I had to, gun it off the line. We went as fast as what we could, initiated, put down the best qualifying run that I could, hit the outer zones, big smoke, try to be aggressive on the switch. When I came to the switch, he was way offline as well. I could sort of see him, as I went to the outer zone. I caught a glimpse of him next to me. Normally you want to be next to a guy, but you don't want to exceed his front wheels. And I know he was very close to doing that. So we went in around the outer bank in a clip. He was there. He went down to the last inner zone.
And Honey Z.
Chris Long leads, and it's Zanil Sitar that does the chasing. Very clever initiation there from Zanil. He just stuck in his lane, and he knew that Chris Long would have to cross his path, and it was there where he just met up with him and stayed with him.
Now for the switch, Chris taking a high line, Zanil having to counter, but keeping it back in the door, back online. Final switch, and this is where it all comes down.
I tell you what, this is a big smoke show here from these two.
Proximity, proximity, proximity.
Let's give him a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Christopher Long, Zanil Sitar.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make clouds. Like tire slaying 100%. Any vape. I mean, look at that. Chris Long's car still smoking. It's like he's got a hubbly inside there.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the judges say, winner is Christopher Long! Chris Long from Cape Town takes it.
I think with the mistakes that he had in the first run, and maybe potentially the little bit of diving he did in the second run, they gave me the win. I think those 2 runs are probably my 2 most consistent runs throughout the whole weekend, so it really paid off then, which I'm very grateful for. We were then paired up with Jason Webb. Now, Jason Webb is obviously well known in South Africa and Monster sponsored, and he's driving the Ford Mustang with the Roush motor. I mean, his build compared to mine, I mean, don't get me wrong, my car's, is pretty well advanced, but we're not running, big angle kits and stuff like that, where his car's pretty much next level. So we definitely had a weight and a speed disadvantage. He was much faster. He set the highest qualifying of the weekend. He was the fastest of the weekend as well from a speed point of view. So we really had our work cut out for us. So because Jason was the highest qualifier, he would lead first. It was me to chase, and I knew it was going to be fast, So from a driving perspective, you're allowed to, from a follow driver, you're allowed to, you sort of jump the start to call it, so you like to sort of get a gap, and then as he pulls away, you tuck in. So I tried to do that. I got it sort of next to him, and then all of a sudden, he just pretty much launched away. So there was nothing, I think, from a speed point of view we could have done. We obviously were not the fastest on the weekend, although I don't think we were anywhere near the slowest. So we were there, we initiated. I did the same line he did. There was a 2 to 3 car gap. We came around the switches, we were all on the clips, no, he wasn't shadowing his line to get away. So coming at the end of the run, we didn't make mistakes, it was just the gap. So he definitely got an advantage for that.
Jason going in, doing what he does. Chris Long straggling behind, battling to keep up. The power difference between these two cars. But the line is equal. Chris just battling to catch up. Not being able to get their proximity. Jason having a safe run. And Chris just...
In the roles reversed, I knew I had to, launch as hard as I could and as fast as I could. So we launched off the line. It's probably the fastest I've accelerated, the whole weekend. And I went to initiate, and I'm not too sure still to this day what happened, but we initiated. The car didn't quite fully get to angle. It sort of, I don't know if maybe I initiated on a bump or what it could have been, but as I went to initiate, it sort of shadowed out and then only went into angle. So I sort of initiated about, I would say, 3 meters after the last cone that which you're allowed to initiate. So we obviously ran a massively high line on the first bit, and Jason was there. So we ran the outer wall, Jason was there. We came for the switch, he was still right next to me. As we came for the switch, I did that aggressive switch like the judges wanted me to do. I didn't slow down my speed dramatically. It's been consistent, and I've been doing it the whole day. As I came for the switch, he bumped me. Obviously we're still running all steel panels, so every bump you sort of feel it quite heavily. It's not like it gives in on the fiberglass or anything. So he hit us, we ended up spinning around, he finished the run, and
Chris Long out in front for Mike's place. GNA Motorsport. Oh, a little bit of a hop, skip and a jump there. Jason Webb just tucks it in the door though. Keeps applying the pressure. It's a tidy run. Chris Long settles in. Jason Webb not letting him out of sight. Oh, a little bit of contact, a touch. I think Jason Webb caught the back and the front there. I'm pretty sure that the judges are going to want to take a look at that one and just see if there was in fact contact, or if there was an unforced error. Jason Webb going through. Chris Long failing to initiate a very...
We initiated too late. It's the first person to score 0, like the same situation that happened with Vic. First person to score 0 is at fault, and because I initiated too late, I scored a 0. So otherwise things could have been a little bit different, but then again, if I initiated on point, maybe you wouldn't have been there. There's so many variables. So in any case, very happy with top 4 result in any case. But after that, we were paired up with Adam Schaefer for 3rd and 4th. So the same thing, I was high qualifier, we went in as hard as we could. I put down probably another good qualifying run. I don't think I did anything dramatically to slow me down, and he spun behind me. So
Alright, so here we go. Christopher Long and Adam Schaefer for the semi-finals.
It's Christopher Long that takes the lead here. Adam Schaefer is in the chase position off the bat here. First run in. A little bit of left foot braking there from, well, both Christopher Long and then Adam Schaefer. We're seeing those front mounted brake lights just sort of... Oh! No! Adam Schaefer throws it away. Was that forced or unforced though?
I think it was...
Adam Schaefer just sits there dead in the water. Is that a mechanical failure, something of the sorts?
I don't know.
No, he's not.
I think he's just playing it safe, letting...
The following position, I left a little bit of a gap just from a safe zone. I didn't want to get sort of boxed into a mistake or anything like that. So we left a little bit of a gap, about a 2-car gap the whole way through the run. He would have definitely had the advantage on the second run because he spun on the first one. We ended up getting
Right on the line, and Adam leads, Chris follows. Can Chris be aggressive as Adam has been? Chris falling a little bit behind. He needs to catch that proximity. Adam running the wall. Chris needs to put it in and catch up to Adam.
And Darren, what were we saying earlier about it's not done until it's done? Anything can happen.
Cat and mouse, cat and mouse.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough from Adam Schaefer here. Not to come back from a spin. He would have.
That gave us third place, you know, and that's really, really a fantastic result for us. I cannot thank everyone who has come on board this year and, you know, believing in me and my team. And when I say my team, I mean, you know, I always say we. You know, people ask why do we always say we, but it's not just me, you know, making this possible. There's a lot of people who assist us and help us get to where we are now. And I still see us as a small class team, although we're still trying to be professional with what we have. So I'm very grateful to all our sponsors who have come on board. You know, Mike's Place, it's really assisted us dramatically. JHB Motorsport Winter has helped a great deal as well with everything. So those obviously are two main biggest sponsors this year, and realistically without them, I mean, this wouldn't be possible. So I've got a lot of people as well, you know, Best Motors, GT Graphics with this awesome livery, Wheelworks, who's obviously done all our rim needs and everything we might need, Boost SA, Fast Wheel Molly, they've helped us quite a bit with oil as well, which has been quite nice. Andres Rubber Supplies, I have to thank them so much. Sideways RC, Vivian, he's gone over and above this year, I did not expect that. We've got Ricky Bobby Designs as well. I mean, without him, this livery would not even really exist. So, Philip from Belfries as well. I did not expect what he gave, and you know, every little bit that everyone gives goes a great. That helps a lot. It goes a long way. Privileged and thankful for everything, and we're excited for round 2. And yeah, third place. I maybe didn't seem like it in the pictures and the videos and stuff online, but I'm extremely grateful for third place. You know, it's ticking the boxes, you know, one little box at a time. So you know, it's the biggest thing is just being consistent, and it will come to us. So we're looking forward to the win, and again, I have to thank everybody who's come on board this year. Without any of you, this would not be possible. So thank you. And I'll see you guys around 2. Cheers.
Put your hands together. Taking third place for the first round of the Supadrift Series for 2018 is Christopher Long. Christopher Long doing it for GNA.
Up in paradise, I suppose. If you will tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello.